Bonjour! The photo shoot day, I'm gonna bring this. Hey, what's up? It's Hillary. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I have some really exciting news to share. Today is July 10th, and at the end of this month, I am going to be going to Paris. So the way this all happened, I have a group of 4 best friends. The 4 of us have been friends for over 20 years. We went to high school together, and one of us was planning a trip to Paris with her family. Another of us found out about this and was actually already going to be in Europe, so updated her itinerary to make it so she's in Paris at the same time, and then texted the remaining 2 of us to ask if we wanted to join. And of course we said yes. Now all of this is going to be a surprise for the friend who's going to be in Paris with her family, so you will not be seeing this video until after the Paris trip has happened. But this was just so perfect the way it all went down, because in June one of my book clubs read The Fox and the Devil, which was set in Paris in 1900 for the Exposition Universelle, or the World's Fair. And then in June another book club read Almost Life, which was set in Paris, and they had their first meeting on the steps of the Sacre-Coeur. So after reading those 2 books, I was like, wow, you know, I've definitely thought about going to Paris before, but it's never kind of risen to the top of my destination list. But after reading those 2 books, I had a bigger interest in Paris. I was kind of doing some background research on the World's Fair and learning, you know, how that was introducing some brand new technology for that time. And I didn't know that the Eiffel Tower was built for that. And so, you know, I just kind of had this new fascination with Paris. And after the book club meeting for The Fox and the Devil, I was out with people from book club and said, I think Paris has moved up on my list. Like, I really want to go there. I've been kind of immersed in it lately, and I've been really in the mood to go to Paris. I kid you not. My friend texted us about going 2 days later. It was so crazy how it happened. Because of all of that, like, I'm even more excited than I think I would be anyway. Like, I would be definitely very excited to go to Paris if the opportunity came up, but just the way that that all happened was so perfect, and I'm extremely excited to be going to Paris, and especially with my best friends. I never imagined that we'd be doing an international getaway together. Like, it's kind of hard to get everyone together. One of us in the group is particularly good at kind of rallying everyone to get to go together. So this is just a dream come true. So what I've been doing in preparation for this trip is I went on Instagram. Instagram very quickly knew that I was going to Paris. I think after I bought my flight, my Instagram ads and like my For You page was just being flooded with Paris content. And so I took advantage of it, and I started saving things that looked interesting to me. And then I asked my other friends what would be helpful to share ideas, and we started a Google Doc and a custom Google Maps just for the trip, where I'm adding locations and using icons to categorize them so that when we're there, we can pull up our custom Google Maps and just see what's nearby that we've already identified as recommended. So of course, I've been looking at restaurants and cafes, boulangeries, patisseries. I've learned about the best way to order a baguette, tradition. I don't know how to say it the French way. And I've also looked at bookstores there. And so some that are kind of rising to the top are Shakespeare & Co. Although I have heard that you might have to wait in kind of a long line to even get in that store, but I definitely want to go there. And there's another one, the name is escaping me at the moment. I will put it on the screen if I can remember, but it not only looks gorgeous, but also has a wide selection of books in English, so I would be able to read whatever I purchase. I've also found a local artist shop who hand makes everything in the store, and so people are saying it's kind of a cool way to get unique souvenirs. Also, there are some jelly cats that are exclusive to an FAO Schwartz in Paris, and they are all pastry themed. So I feel like I have to go there. I mean, how cute would a little croissant jelly cat be? And I could put it on my shelf with my copies of Almost Life, The Fox and the Devil, and any other books set in Paris that I might read leading up to the trip. I've been looking up a lot of stationery shops. It seems there's some really beautiful places there. And then of course the sights. So we are still in the process of planning our itinerary out, but we've got a couple of things on the books. We are going to be doing a sunset cruise on the Seine. We are going to be going to Versailles. I really want to go to Montmartre and maybe even take photos on the steps of the Sacre-Coeur, just like in Almost Life, and also just like in volume 3 of Heartstopper, which I recently read. I forgot to say that up top, talking about books. I also recently did a reread of the Heartstopper series, and volume 3 is when they go on their class trip to Paris, and so that was so much fun. I knew at the time that I was going to Paris when I read it, and so that was really exciting to see. I definitely want to have a picnic in a garden with my friends and just sit and chill. I'm just so excited to experience a new country. I've never been to France, and a new city, and just see what it's all about. I'm so excited to take you along. I'm filming this intro now, and I'm gonna be kind of providing some updates along the way, and then I will be sharing some footage from the actual trip. So stay tuned. Today is the day. I am leaving for Paris later this afternoon. It's currently about 10 a.m. and I just need to finish packing. I was also hoping to paint my nails before I go. I had high hopes for everything that I could get done before I leave. Like, I also wanted to finish editing my Heartstopper videos so then I could upload it and get it off of my laptop, but I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna happen. The main thing that I need to do right now is just finish packing and make sure that everything's gonna fit. So I am trying to just use this carry-on and this backpack. And so I think the main thing that I need to do right now is figure out what my actual outfits are gonna be so I can narrow down this pile of clothes. And then if I need to be cutting things out after that point, I think it would go to toiletries because I can buy things there, and just kind of figuring out like which things can be replaced by anything in Paris versus, like my makeup, I want my own and my own colors and things like that. So that's what I'm gonna be doing right now. I guess I can give you some updates on the trip because the last time that I kind of introduced this trip, I didn't have a ton of details. The itinerary, we have a few things planned out on our itinerary so far. So the day that we get in, we don't really have anything planned. It's just, adjusting and getting acquainted and things like that, trying to fight the jet lag. And then the next morning, we're doing a tour of Versailles. And then later that night, the friend who's there with her family, they're doing like a family photo shoot in front of the Eiffel Tower. They hired a photographer. And so they're getting there at a certain time, and then we're showing up maybe like a half hour later, and so the photographer can capture the surprise. So we're gonna be surprising her in front of the Eiffel Tower. I think that's so exciting and so cute. I really hope that she's just completely surprised and has no idea. That would just be so fun. We're gonna be going into the Eiffel Tower after the photos. The next day we're going to the Louvre, I believe, and then the day after that we have a sunset cruise on the Seine scheduled. So we're all gonna be in a boat together. Sunset isn't until 9:30 p.m. So we are doing the cruise at 9:30 p.m. and then we'll hopefully see the Eiffel Tower sparkles at 10 o'clock. Yeah, so that's everything that we have planned. Other than that, I think we're just kind of filling our time with whatever we feel like doing, wherever we feel like eating. We're just kind of going with the flow. That's kind of my ideal trip, is like a few things are planned and scheduled ahead of time, but then the rest of the time is just open to do what we feel like doing in the moment. I really hope to go to Shakespeare & Co., which is a bookstore. I recently read This Book Made Me Think of You by Libby Page, and Shakespeare & Co. played a big part in one of the scenes. It was also in the Heartstopper season 2, I believe, when they do go on their big Paris trip. So yeah, so many cool things that have been popping up in my books recently that are now, I'm gonna be there and I can experience. So that's really cool. Okay, let's get into figuring out what outfits I'm gonna take. So far I wanna take everything. All right, so this with jean shorts. I'm gonna bring 2 options for the photo shoot day. I'm gonna bring this purple dress. It's kind of like a romper, really. And then I'm also gonna bring this green striped dress. Those are gonna be my two options. I think if it's really hot, I think I'll wear the purple, because even though this is a dress and it's like a lighter fabric, it goes all the way to the ground, and so it just gets a little bit warm. I feel like I should just bring one pair of jeans. It's probably gonna be too hot to wear jeans, so I will put these away. And just bring these. And I think I can wear this shirt. I think that would look nice with the black jeans. Okay, so we've got 3. I'm counting the dresses are just options for one outfit. In case we like go out somewhere, I think I do want to bring this. Oh, I really like this skirt. Oh man. Okay, so I have 2 skirts. I have like a flared one and like a more streamlined or A-line one. Probably shouldn't take both. What I am gonna take though is 2 pairs of jean shorts, because I think I will often be wearing jean shorts. Like that's probably, ooh, or do I want to take the black ones? Now these might be a little bit loose. I want to take all of them. Okay, take these away and put the black shorts. Okay, I don't need that. This is a black dress that's really comfy and doesn't go all the way down to my feet, so it's a little bit cooler. I'm only taking 1 pair of pajamas. I don't care. I'm gonna wear them every night for 5 nights. It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna take this skirt, not this one. And then I think this tank and not this one. I do feel like I should have, this is a really light sweater. I do feel like I should take at least some kind of sweater, but I need one for the plane. Do I just bring this on the plane? I guess, but is it thick enough? I don't know, sometimes planes get really cold. I guess I should just take this on the plane and not bring 2 separate jackets. Okay, I'm not gonna bring this because the jeans that I'm bringing are black. Because I would wear these with jeans. This is coming back. Okay, I wanna see if all of this will fit, because I think these are some good options. Ooh, I forgot to get out my packing cubes. I guess I'm gonna do the rolling technique. So fun fact, my seat on the plane is like super economy, like the most economy you can get. It does not include food service, no checked bag, can only do carry-on and a personal item, and the carry-on suitcase has a weight limit. I think there's a very slim chance that my carry-on will actually weigh less than that limit. So I guess what my hope is that I have crew who are not weighing. I looked online and it really seems like it just kind of depends on who's working, or like maybe how full the flight is, how much they care about that. But if they make me check it, it will cost $130. And then what I don't know, because I have a layover in Iceland, is then if they make me check it, I wonder if I'm gonna have to go to baggage claim, get my bag, and go through customs in Iceland, because my layover is an hour and a half. I'm not sure if that's what I'll have to do, or if it's because I like bought the ticket together and it's through the same airline, if they will take the luggage to Paris. I think I will have to go through customs in Iceland, but maybe I'll have to do it in Paris and not Iceland. I should know, I did look it up and I had an answer and then I forgot. So we're gonna follow the signs. The signs will tell me where to go. to Paris, Roscoe? Yeah? That would be fun. And stressful. And you know what's really annoying is this suitcase is like 6.8 on its own. So I have 22 pounds of stuff. But with the suitcase, it's almost 30. Okay, we can put some things in the backpack. $24. You know, I'm gonna call that good. I'm gonna call that good. Bonsoir! I am in Paris. I made it here. It is actually nighttime. I think it is about midnight. So we've had a full day. I had a full day of travel. Honestly, my travel day was pretty bad. I flew Iceland Air, which is like a budget airline, except not at budget prices, but gosh, their seats are so uncomfortable. So I really struggled to get any decent sleep and just felt extremely uncomfortable the entire flight. I had a 7-hour flight to Iceland, an hour-and-a-half layover, and then a 3-hour flight to Paris. So it was a very long travel day, but we've managed to stay awake all day. We went out and did some fun things. Well, I met up with one of my friends at the airport. We had both gotten in around the same time, and then we took a cab to the city. We checked into our hotel, and then our third friend arrived. We still have not surprised the friend who is here with her family yet. We're doing that tomorrow. So we spent all day today in Paris without her. That was a little strange, but we're going to see her tomorrow. So we got to our hotel, which is great. I will give you a room tour. But then we went out shopping around this area. We're in the Marais neighborhood. And so we went out shopping a little bit and had a kind of like a light lunch, early dinner. And then we went over to Champs-Élysées, the big shopping street, which was very overwhelming and definitely not my scene. We honestly didn't stay on that road for too long because the sun was about to set. So we went over to the Arc de Triomphe, and that was gorgeous at sunset. We got there at the perfect time. And then from there, we walked over to the Seine to be able to see the Eiffel Tower sparkling at 10 o'clock. And then we had sort of another light meal after that. And now we're back home. I just showered. We're about to go to bed because we have an early pickup tomorrow. We're getting picked up in our hotel lobby at 8 a.m. by Kevin. And he's going to take us on a private tour of Versailles. And then I'm not sure what we're doing after Versailles, but then we are surprising our friend around 5:45 tomorrow at the Eiffel Tower. So it was a really great first day. I'm very excited to be here. Let's do a room tour, and then I have got to go to bed. I'm so tired. I feel very out of it. Okay, so this is our bedroom. It's me and my friend staying in here, so it's kind of perfect. We both have our little twin-size beds. We have a closet over here, so we both hung up our stuff. We had slippers and robes. There's a little dresser, and here's a little living room area. So we've got a little couch, a chair, coffee maker, water, a little mini fridge that's included. This is kind of the living area. Because it's late at night, I can't really show you out the window, and then here's the bathroom. And then my friend is showering, so I can't really show you in there. But yeah, this is our room. It has AC, but also the weather here today was actually pretty perfect. I would say it was like in the 80s and a little bit breezy. It was so comfortable. So hopefully we have another day like that tomorrow. All right, good night. Okay, we're on our way to surprise Dom at the Eiffel Tower. I think she's gonna freak out.
For sure.
She's gonna cry.
She's gonna cry.
Will we cry?
A little bit, yes.
I don't cry.
Bonjour!
All right, how surprised were you?
Oh my gosh, I was so surprised. I can't believe I actually cried. It just made me cry. I'm not surprised by that. I'm so excited.
It is unfortunately my last day in Paris. I am about to start packing and head to the airport. My friends already left this morning. They had a much earlier flight than I did. So it is the end of the trip. Gosh, we did so much. This was such an amazing trip. It's been a very busy few days. Like honestly, these 5 full days felt like 2 weeks. I mean, we did so much. We did so much walking. We were walking like 9 miles a day. My body is sore, but my heart is full. It's so cheesy, but it's so true. Yeah, so I'm about to just finish packing up and get ready for the airport. Thankfully, my bid for an upgrade was accepted, so I will hopefully have more comfortable seats going home because coming here was rough. I'm sad, but I'm also, I really miss Roscoe and my sister, and I guess, it's one of those things where like eating delicious food every day is great, but then kind of nice to just go home to routine and to not have to find a restaurant for dinner every night and things like that. But I'm so grateful that I got to do this, and it's time to go home. Bonjour, I am home from Paris and I had such an amazing trip. I have been trying to adjust back to the time zone here. I've definitely been feeling some jet lag, but overall feeling okay, glad to be home. It was an amazing trip. I thought I would just look back at the trip, think about some highlights, and show you some souvenirs that I got. I honestly didn't do a ton of shopping, but I did get some really cute things that I want to show you and just kind of talk about the trip. So first of all, just some basic. I was there for 5 nights and 6 days, and on the first day, let's see if I can remember what all we did, because we were busy. We did a lot, we saw a lot. I have no regrets. So on our first day, one of my friends and I landed around the same time, so we met up at the Charles de Gaulle airport and rode to the city together. And then we waited for our other friend who was coming from Switzerland on the train. When she got there, we just kind of walked around near our hotel. So we went to Place de Vosges, which was a beautiful little park, and we were in the Marais neighborhood. So we walked around to some of the shops. We had a nice later lunch at one of the cafes there. We also went to Champs-Élysées and Arc de Triomphe. We just kind of walked down the street. We honestly didn't really do a ton of shopping that night. And then we saw the Arc de Triomphe, which was way more impressive than I expected. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. It was a lot bigger than I thought, and the intricate carvings and the detail. And we were there at sunset. And so the way the sun was kind of coming through the arc was really cool. We had an early night that night because the next morning we got picked up super early to go to Versailles. We had a tour guide taking us around, and we got there right when it opened. So we got to a lot of the rooms before it was very crowded, which was amazing. It was so beautiful. I loved Marie Antoinette's bedroom the best. I thought it was just so beautiful. There was a lot in Versailles. It's very male focused, male centered. It was the times. It was the times, but then I loved that Marie Antoinette had her own room and that it was very feminine and very beautiful. Also, the Hall of Mirrors was very impressive, and we also spent quite a bit of time in the gardens. Our tour guide had timed it just right to where we would walk near a water feature. They don't run constantly, but we would walk near one, and then maybe a minute or two later it would turn on. So he had everything timed out perfectly. It was amazing. After Versailles, we went to a lunch spot near our hotel. I think it was called La Petite Marche, and that was actually one of my favorite meals. I had like a seared tuna. After lunch, we did some more shopping in the neighborhood of our hotel because the night before a lot of places had been closed, and we kind of explored further. We ventured out further. Then we had the first day, and then it was time to surprise our friend. So they were having family photos done on one of the bridges where you can see the Eiffel Tower in the background. And so we took an Uber to that bridge and we surprised her while they were getting their photos taken. She was completely shocked. She had no idea we were there. We kind of ran up to their group and they were almost like, oh my God, who's coming at us? Like, are we gonna have to get in a fight here? That was pretty funny, but they quickly realized it was us, and everyone was just so so happy, so many hugs all around. We took some more photos together with the Eiffel Tower in the background, and then we walked to the Eiffel Tower and rode up the elevator to the second level and got to see from the top. And that was amazing to me. I really, until that moment, did not realize how big Paris was. I'm still kind of surprised by that. I guess everyone talks about it like it's charming and quaint and, you know, these words that kind of make me think it's like a smaller city. It's huge. It's huge. It's very crowded. Yeah, I was not expecting that. We did a lot and we saw a very small bit of Paris. After we came down, we had a little picnic in the park nearby and then went somewhere for a proper dinner. The next day, we wanted to shop in some different areas, and so we went over to the Haussmann area, I believe it's called. We went to the Printemps, and there was actually a Veuve Clicquot pop-up on the rooftop. So we spent some time there drinking some Veuve, then just kind of went around to the shops around there. We tried to go to the Jellycat Patisserie, but unfortunately it was closed while we were there, and so they had a little pop-up. That was horrible. It was tiny, so crowded, so chaotic. Yeah, being in the, I think it was called the Galeries Lafayette, I will be fine if I never go back there in my life. It was so crazy. And then we went back to our hotel to freshen up and get ready for the Sunset River cruise on the Seine. And so we got on the boat around 9, sunset was at 9:30, and then the Eiffel Tower sparkles were at 10. And so the boat driver had it timed perfectly. We went a little bit past the Eiffel Tower, sat there for a little bit. We saw the replica of the Statue of Liberty, or honestly, I'm not sure which one came first. I say replica mainly because it just was smaller, but it looked exactly like the Statue of Liberty. And so we spent some time just kind of floating there. And then he turned us around and we went right past the Eiffel Tower at 10 o'clock when it sparkled. And that was just amazing. It was so beautiful, but then also the vibe on the boat was beautiful. Everyone was so happy and just genuinely so grateful to be together. Many of us were in tears. It was just a really beautiful moment. I feel like a core memory right there. I absolutely loved everything about the boat ride. After we got off the boat, it was about 10:30, and believe it or not, we then went to dinner after that. Dinner is very late in Paris, but then also I think we were just kind of on a later schedule because 10:30, well, I guess like midnight there for the people who were from Florida is kind of dinner time for them. So we were all messed up and we were eating very late dinners every night. We just went to a dinner that night, and then at midnight it was my friend's birthday, and so they brought her out a piece of cake and it had a sparkler in it. It was very cute. The next day we had tickets for the Louvre around, I think it was 11:30, and so we tried to go to Shakespeare & Co., which is a bookstore, but there was a line, and so we didn't have enough time. So we walked from there to the Louvre. We saw the Notre Dame. We walked past Samaritan area and like that shopping area on the way to the Louvre, and then we did do the Louvre. We saw all the hits. We definitely saw the Mona Lisa. That room was insane. I am not a huge museum person to begin with, and then when it comes to art, I'm more like a modern art appreciator, and I would say any art that has something to do with nature. I'm also really into that, and so there wasn't really much in the Louvre that was my style, my interest areas. There was a lot of Jesus paintings, and I personally have some religious trauma from growing up Catholic, so I would say that was not very pleasant. What was really cool though was the Egyptian artifacts. I loved that when we saw a mummy, like the body wrapped in the bandages and everything. It was so cool. So the mummy was my favorite part. And then once we decided that we were done, we were ready to leave, I kid you not, it took us like 45 minutes to get out of the Louvre. I posted a really funny reel on Instagram that was us just trying to get out of the Louvre and trying to like follow the exit signs. It was very comical. Honestly, like one of the funniest moments of the trip probably. After that, we went to an Italian restaurant nearby and had a really good lunch. Actually, it was delicious and it was air conditioned because that is not guaranteed. And then we left from the restaurant and just shopped around wherever we were. Some people were getting souvenirs for people back home. And you know, that was a much more like casual day of shopping, I would say. And we did find other Jellycats somewhere. I did find the croissant, which I will show you in a second. We just happened to end up back near Notre Dame. We were eating at a crepe place. So I did get to go to Shakespeare & Co. because it was just across the street. I ended up going there by myself while everyone else was doing their crepes. And I'm so glad that I got to go in there. It was a really tiny bookstore and it had so much character. The shelves went up really high and there were ladders, like built-in ladders to kind of climb up and and look at the higher shelves. There were like these little nooks where you could go up a ladder and kind of be in this like tiny nook where they had chairs and things like that. And there was a reading area upstairs. It was so cute and so historical. It had so much character. So I'm really glad that I got to go there. We were trying to figure out what we wanted to do for our friend's birthday because that was technically the day of her birthday. And so that night we hung out in the hotel bar and had some champagne and some snacks. And then we went to a speakeasy in the Marais neighborhood. And that was really fun. It was a great bar. They had great drinks. Like every drink I had was delicious. Very creative cocktails. And so that was a really fun night. We left the bar and some people were hungry. It was, I think, around 1 a.m. or it was definitely after midnight. And so we were asking like, where can we go to get some food at this time of the night? And they sent us to this restaurant that's open until 5 a.m. And it was so French. It was like, so you can imagine, you know, the types of food that you're craving when you're drunk. And then this place had cockles and frog legs and clams and, you know, just things like that. And so it was a little difficult finding things on the menu for everyone to order, but, you know, some people ordered ice cream. It was actually quite hilarious, just the whole situation. But yeah, so that was our latest night. So then on our last full day, we woke up and we went to the Luxembourg Gardens to walk around. I went to this artist's shop, Mar and Montagu, something like that. And it was a whole shop of this artist's handmade items that were perfect for souvenirs. So there were glasses with paintings on them or little shadow boxes to hang on the wall, and it was all their illustration style. There were perfumes and soap, mugs, a lot of different items with this artist's illustrations on it. And so I did get something there. Then we went to Le Bon Marché, which ended up just being another department store. And so then I was a little bit shopped out and I left and went to Montmartre because I really wanted to see the sacre-coeur and I really just wanted to see the Montmartre neighborhood. It's very hilly. That's where Belly lived in The Summer I Turned Pretty. I just kind of wanted to see that neighborhood, and it was pretty crazy, very touristy, at least up by the sacre-coeur, but I did get to see it. I got to stand on the steps. I did do a love lock. I got the Lebanese ice cream with pistachios on top, so I do feel really glad that I went to that area. After that, we went to this bar that did a champagne tasting, and that was fantastic. We tasted 5 different champagnes, and one of them, in fact, was something that none of us had ever tasted before because it's from a region that doesn't really export other places. So that was really cool. We also tried caviar. I mean, I had tried it before, but some people were trying it for the first time, and it was so good. It was so good. After that, we did a little bit more shopping. lots and lots of shopping on this trip. Some people were really craving Chinese food, and so we looked up if there were any good Chinese restaurants. We found one that was Asian fusion, but aspects of it were inspired by Chinese cuisine, and so we went there. I think it was called Hori's, and that was amazing. Everything we ate there was so good. Like, I will be dreaming about that meal. It was so good, so delicious, everything that we had. And it was one of those situations where we were all at a round table and we had a lazy Susan in the middle. And so we just ordered a bunch of stuff and we could share and experience the meal all together. After that, we went back to the hotel room to pack and things like that because some people were leaving early the next morning. Thankfully, I wasn't leaving until about 11, so I got to sleep in a little bit and kind of take my time having breakfast and then heading to the airport. Now, my flight home was better than my flight there. I did one of those things where you can put in a bid for an upgrade and it was accepted on both of the flights. The first flight was from France to Iceland, so it was about a 3-hour flight. That airplane was so nice and they had a great movie selection, so I watched Wuthering Heights. And then my second flight was from France to Denver. It was 7 hours long and it was a crappier plane. But, you know, thank God I was at least upgraded because even though the seat was still uncomfortable, it was way better than what I would have had in economy. You know, I think I'm just realizing I can't do economy for international flights anymore. I was in so much pain on the way there and so uncomfortable. And then with the upgrade, at least I got food on the plane because on the way there, they also didn't serve food in economy. Yeah, and the food was interesting because it was Iceland Air, so it was Icelandic food. A lot of fish, which I didn't mind. It was very delicious. I got home around 7 on Wednesday. My sister came and picked me up, and then I got home home, said hello to Roscoe. I missed him so much, and I think he missed me too. He was being very sweet. The next day, I felt really rough. I slept a lot, but it was like one of those things where I was so out of it. I almost felt dizzy, just kind of felt crappy. I've been adjusting back. It was the trip of a lifetime. Some of my very favorite parts were the river cruise and surprising my friend. I have no regrets at all. So I'm gonna show you some of the souvenirs that I picked up. Like I said, I didn't shop a ton for myself, but I did get some cute things. First of all, I got 2 Paris exclusive jelly cats. The first one is a croissant. The second is a baguette. How freaking adorable are these? Oh, I think they are so cute. So I got both of these. At the shop that I said was the local artist shop, Marin Montagut. I have no idea. I got this. It is a keepsake box, and of course it has a cat on it that looks like Roscoe. So I was debating between this and one of the shadow boxes to go on my wall, but I decided on this because it's shaped like a book and it has a cat on it. I mean, really. But look how beautiful this is. So all of the things on, all of the illustrations are by the artist, and then, you know, like the box itself is cut to be shaped and to feel like a book. And then there's even like this page holder type thing, but then you can open it and put your keepsakes in there. And so I have a map from the Louvre. I have the keys to my love lock. I have some things from the hotel. Okay, so this is the name of the shop where I got it. So then I can just kind of put keepsakes in here and put this on my bookshelves. I got this really cute tiny puzzle. So it's only 100 pieces and it's very small, but it's cats on the bridge with the Eiffel Tower, the Notre Dame, and some other buildings in the background. And I just thought it was so adorable and so perfect. And I kind of loved how small it was so that it wouldn't take up a ton of space in my bag. One splurge item I got some sunglasses from Chloe, and I wore these a lot on the trip. There they are. I love them. I think they are so chic. I did buy a box of macarons. My sister loves macarons, and so I got a box of 18, 9 different flavors, so 2 of each. And as soon as we got home, we started taste testing those. We've had a few a day, and so I don't have that box to show you because they have been consumed. When we were walking through Montmartre, we found this place called Lemon Story. And it's basically, they had different liqueurs that were like limoncello, but made with different citruses. And so I got a yuzu cello. I don't know if you would call it yuzu cello, but I'm really excited to try this. Here's the name of the store. I had a ton of stationery shops on my list of places that I wanted to go. We only ended up making it to one. It was Melody Graphique. And I got this bookmark. So it's the Eiffel Tower in like a bright yellow and pink design. And I really liked it. I picked up some really cute stickers just for fun. I'm sure I'll be making some journal pages for this trip, so I can use those stickers here. We had heard that it was really common to go to the pharmacies in Paris and get skincare products because they are a lot cheaper there. Now, I am not a big skincare guru, so I honestly don't know if I paid less for these, but I did pick up some Medicube face masks and serum, because I've seen people say good things about these. I mean, really, that's it. That's my only reason for buying them. I have already used both of them and I like how they feel on my skin. So hey, that's good. At Shakespeare & Co., I did buy one book and a postcard. So I ended up buying another Brooklyn by Jacqueline Woodson. This was up in the staff picks area, and the way that they had described it sounded so good. And then it seems like it's maybe short stories or one story, but it's written in a very poetic way. And so I read, you know, the first couple of pages and really liked the writing style. And so that's what I got. And then in terms of the postcard, got this, because it really just gave me the vibe of the store, especially that tree out front of the store. and I really enjoyed it. This says, she would keep through all her older years the simple and loving heart of her childhood, and she would gather about her other little children and make their eyes bright and eager with many a strange tale, perhaps even with a dream of Wonderland. So I'm sure that's from Alice in Wonderland or something like that. I really liked it for the art style and just how it kind of gives you the vibe of the store. Like you can see the tall ladder and the little nook rooms and things like that. And they gave me this bookmark with my purchase. This is actually something that our hotel gave us. They had these just kind of sitting at the front desk, and it's this beautiful watercolor painting of the courtyard of the hotel. And I really loved the style. I love watercolor paintings. I love the style of this, and I just thought it was beautiful. And I'm kind of planning on, you can't see it right now, but there's this blank wall behind my recliner here that I'm kind of wanting to put cozier style artwork. And so I thought this could potentially work there. While we were in Montmartre, there were a lot of artists selling their paintings. In fact, they were often painting there on the spot and then had a bunch of their other artwork for display. And so I bought this from one of the artists, mainly because this really reminds me of the river cruise that we did, and I love the colors. Finally, one last item, I got this sticker activity book, Le Marché, and you open it up and it's almost like different scenes, but then you have stickers and you can kind of fill in the scenes with the items in the stickers. So this is La Boulangerie, and so then I think you find La Boulangerie and you fill in the shelves with the items. I thought that seemed like a really fun activity, and also this is just adorable and I love the drawing style. Okay, that is everything I bought in Paris. I hope that you really enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to my channel already, please consider doing so. In the comments below, let me know, have you ever been to Paris? If so, what were some of the favorite things you did there? If you haven't been yet, is Paris a place on your bucket list or not? I'd love to hear from you, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.